Aloha, my dearest 1B. How's your weekend? That's great. So for today's English, we will continue our lesson on letter writing. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get started right away. What kind of text do you see on the screen? You were right. That is a letter. Little Porridge House, Middlewood. Dear Fairy Godmother. A horrible little girl came to our house. She ate my porridge, broke my chair, and slept in my bed. How can I stop her from doing it again? Little Bear. So, children, if Little Bear sent you this letter, what would you say? That's a good advice. So, what do you think are we all learning to do today? Let's find out. Yes, you guessed it right. Today we are learning to write a letter of advice. Read our words again, children. That's good. And at the end of the lesson, you will be able to write a letter of advice using the parts of a letter. Let's review what a letter is. Do you remember that a letter is a short, sometimes long, message with the sender's name and address, with the receiver's name, and is posted in an envelope. Now, children, do you know how letters are sent today? Yes, by emails. Let us read the letter of Gingerbread Man to the Fairy Godmother. To Current Court, Vickersville. Dear Fairy Godmother, I am made of gingerbread and everyone's always trying to eat me. I ran away and they ran after me. First it was a little old man and a little old woman, then a cow, then a horse. What can I do? Gingerbread Man. Now children, pretend to be the fairy godmother and offer him your advice. What would you advise him? Hmm, let's think about it. Maybe we could advise him to disguise as a different person or as a different character. Or maybe we can tell him that he could use vanishing cream and just disappear. Or maybe he could use smelly perfume to scare everyone away. What do you think? Now let us read the letter of advice of the fairy godmother to this gingerbread man. Wise Words Cottage, Helpham. Dear Gingerbread Man, the trouble is, gingerbread smells so good, no wonder everyone wants to eat you. Try putting on some really strong aftershave. That should do it. Fairy Godmother. Let's look at another letter. One enormous mansion's upper beanstalk. Dear Fairy Godmother, a little boy keeps coming up my beanstalk and I'd like us to be friends. I keep calling out fee, fi, fo, fum, but every time he sees me, he runs away. What can I do? Who sent this letter? Yes, it's the giant from Jack and the Beanstalk story. So class, pretend to be the fairy godmother and try to offer him your advice. What could we suggest? Maybe we could tell him to use his sweet, kind voice. Or maybe we could suggest that he should be placing a welcome mat, maybe. Or maybe he could smile whenever he sees Jack. What do you think? Now let us read the advice or the letter of advice of the fairy godmother for this giant. Wise Words Cottage, Helpham. Read along with me, children, okay? Wise Words Cottage, Helpham. Dear giant, no wonder he keeps running away if you keep shouting fee, fi, fo, fum. It's really scary. Try saying fum, fee, fo, fi, come and try my apple pie and see what happens. Fairy Godmother. If you remember, children, Fairy Godmother had lost her magic pen, so I want you to transform into the Fairy Godmother and help her respond to the letter from Little Red Riding Hood. Let's read together. 3 Forest Path, Wolfdale. Dear Fairy Godmother, I want to go and see my granny, but she lives on the other side of the wood, and I'm scared of bumping into the big bad wolf on the way. What can I do? Little Red Riding Hood. Now that we know the problem of Little Red Riding Hood, what advice could we give her? Okay, I also thought of some advice for Little Red Riding Hood. Let's read. Get a pet dog to scare the wolf away. I'm just hoping this would work. Also, carry a loud horn to scare the wolf away. And dress up like a tree or a flower maybe, so he doesn't recognize you. Or maybe, children, you have your own advice for Little Red Riding Hood. Use that for this activity. It's now your turn to write a letter of advice to Little Red Riding Hood as the fairy godmother, okay? But before that, let's look at the win list first. So your win list consists of ABC for capital letters, and then we have the punctuation marks, don't forget that, space in between words, address, greetings, and sender's name and receiver's name. So that's it. Looks like you are more than ready, so have a go. Today we have learned how to write a letter of advice as the fairy godmother. And to find out what advice she gave to Little Red Riding Hood, you have to stay tuned next week, okay? So, bye for now.